Hey, NATO Comedy Universe. We're here today with a brand new show, Drunk Review, where we get shit-faced. And we review things. So tonight we're going to be doing Doctor Strange, that glorious fourth dimensional crazy bullshit.
Continue.
And obviously, you know, we're already drunk, but we feel that it's important to get even drunker.
Oh yeah.
So here's our initial greeting, and we'll be back to you once we've gotten truly shit-faced for your review.
Oh no!
Wait, I don't.
Oh,
really
you know,
give
Patrick,
rat's
you really
ass in
need to
hell.
go to a public, like a laundromat. It always says no dying and everything, but there's no one there to check you. To ship to, yeah, I got you, fam.
Why isn't there a cap on that? The dog could have just drank that.
What is he, like an anteater? He doesn't have like a long ass tongue.
You don't know his fucking anatomy.
Oh, now
you
you're
got a
taking my
goddamn
cup away from me
doctorate
like
in
I'm an
veterinary
idiot.
science.
I do know the Beagle's anatomy. I've known him for like
Whoa.
5
Oh,
years.
dude. I feel like he's getting intimate with my dog now.
That we're not the only ones who've known unconventional love. Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you, but not you. It's such a perfect day. You just keep me hanging, dogs. You just keep me hanging, dogs. Hey, so we're shit-faced now. We're completely trashed, and it's time. It's time for this.
The drunk review.
You asked for this, you got it. We hate you.
No one asked for this, but you got it. You got it.
You got it.
You got it. Doctor Strange is just another setup movie for Marvel. There's gonna be like another Infinity Stone introduced, and it's basically just talking about, you know, how the Avengers protect the Earth, and Doctor Strange, you know, protects
time.
He protects the Earth that does exist between our reality that we know and like the metaphysical and like the in between, if you will. Anyway, it's gonna be weird. Marvel has just managed to make it a big enough universe to where they can actually introduce this to fans, and sell and make money. And
You suck.
am I just running on too much? Like, again, we're gonna talk about this movie. You've probably seen it.
Did we watch the same movie?
They're all dead. It's okay, they're all dead. It doesn't matter.
I watched it with you. I laughed.
The plot. It appears in a giant super title above our heads. So, I came into this movie and I was expecting some like crazy ass, like, you know, H.P. Lovecraft shit. And you know, it definitely got some of that. But like, my true disappointment with this film was the fucking plot. And it's funny that we're starting with the plot because of the fact that my true disappointment with this film was the goddamn plot. And like, it just, there were holes. There were holes. They never explained why anybody died at the point when they were supposed to die. They never explained why anybody got their ass kicked at the point when they were supposed to get their ass kicked. It was just like randomly like, oh, rip, derp, 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 we're gonna have plot events. Oh, I hope you have plot armor. Oh, you don't? Guess you're taking it in the bobo. Boom!
I personally thought about it was a guy who was a surgeon, and he lost the use of his hands, and he went around the world, like Western and Eastern medicine, to try to fix his ability to use his hands as a surgeon, and instead of finding the answer to what he thought was life's questions, he kind of found something else that made him into a hero.
But how? He was shitty at magic, and then he was suddenly not shitty at magic.
Because he read a lot. I mean, clearly if you go through like the 10 years of medical school to become a surgeon, then you are therefore somehow capable to go through the millennia of magic school to become a sorcerer.
But his hands suck!
But he's Benedict Cumberbatch. Or Botch. Or whatever.
I thought it was interesting because you have to have a certain suspension of disbelief for movies in general.
Yeah, that he can fucking use his paralyzed ass hand.
And then you have to have a certain suspension of disbelief for comic book movies.
Yeah, like he just can fucking summon zealots from midair.
And then you have to have a certain suspension of disbelief for comic book movies that involve magic.
Yeah, where all the sorcerers disappear in the final action sequence.
So, I clearly did not have as much of a plot problem as you did, Patrick, but because I was balls deep in the suspension of disbelief, and I was actually able to enjoy it as opposed to other Marvel movies that I've seen.
So the fucking cinematography in this movie, I was like shit-faced when I saw this goddamn thing. I wasn't shit-faced. I was drunk. But it was one of those movies where I'd had like 4 or 5 different people be like, go! If you do drugs, take psychedelic drugs and go. You gotta see this shit. See it in 3D, see the whole 9. And I actually like threw down the extra bit to see it in 3D and see it like at an IMAX and like did the whole 9. And like, motherfucker, that shit's worth it. And that shit's never worth it. That shit's like an extra $10 like dollars. Shit was worth it. And I gotta give him mad props for it. Like, cinematography on this movie, A+++, 108%.
Yeah, again, with the cinematography of this film, you can be distracted by a large margin of all the trippy shit that's done when they're like folding time or like wrapping universe. But like what one really should focus on is when they film Benedict Cumberbatch's character before he becomes Doctor Strange.
Oh, when he's just a sack of shit.
Well, yeah, when he's just
like a true sack of shit.
Yeah, again, like when he's just a human being with no powers.
He's just a human being.
They kind of film him from up top, and it looks down on him. He's smaller, and then as he builds up and learns more, they kind of film from below, and he looks higher, right?
That's cool. I hadn't noticed that.
And I think it's just a simple angle of the camera just to see his growth as a person, as a human being, his understanding of the universe or universes around him. And I'd have to watch it again. I've only seen it once. But I think they did that obviously on purpose just to show growth of the character. And from being this cocky son of a bitch who, incidentally, he collects watches, time,
like
which later comes into focus. And he learns not just to appreciate time and to covet it, but to exercise it and use it and to a certain point exploit it.
It's an interesting point you brought up, Mike. I think that the film is a tour de force of what modern cinematography can be. And the cinematography in the film is truly the creme de la creme of what the film is.
Oh yeah, by fucking 80,000.
The things that they do with the mind bendings in terms of like alternate reality and the Dark Realm and what that means and Dormammu and the Mirror Universe is just all absolutely perfect. Like, if you have one reason to see the film and you don't give a shit about the MCU, it should be the cinematography.
Goddamn right.
From that perspective alone, especially as somebody who's interested in films, who's interested in cinematography, it speaks volumes, and I think it pushes the overall genre of what film can be forward with some of the applications of cinematography that they did.
So as an overall movie, I would definitely give this a solid B. Maybe like an 87, 88%, which depending on your school district could be a B or it could be a B+.
D's get degrees.
D is for diploma.
They do
and
sometimes. I had a lot of them. But, I have to give this movie incredible props on the cinematography, as Etienne said. It really like set a standard in terms of cinematography. It was one of those movies where it was obviously designed from the ground up to be seen with the 3D, and they really fucking integrated it well. I want to see it without the 3D so that I can see how much more it sucks without it, to be perfectly honest. And I loved what they explored in terms of the multidimensionality. I loved what they explored in terms of the plot. And I loved the overall concept of Doctor Strange being this like horrible douchebag who learns to not be a douchebag. But I have to look at the plot and be like, wow, you thinned this out to make it like understandable, and you didn't actually try. Like, Mads Mikkelsen's character just summons assholes from midair, and there's an entire army of sorcerers who never show up to defend the fucking warehouse. So at the end of the day, I have to be like, you did a beautiful job with this film in a lot of ways, but go fuck yourself. You couldn't write a story that made sense. So, I'm gonna give you a B. Solid B. I enjoyed it.
I really dug it. Eat that shit up like fucking porridge on a Sunday. I really love how this movie that deals with the comic universe, which is, you know, usually likened to science fiction, was able to branch off into a world of fantasy and magic, and a different way to perceive the world and its inputs, and just kind of get you to absorb what you see in a different way, and to not so much make you see with your eyes, but to perceive with your mind. You're gonna leave. You're gonna throw your popcorn away on your chair because you're an asshole, and you're gonna go to your daily lives because it was just a fucking movie.
Okay,
it was just a fucking movie.
I understand that you work in the film industry, but you gotta stop.
No, you should fucking pick up your popcorn and put it in the trash.
I agree with you, Mike, but
I'm kidding.
There's limits here. There's limits.
I'm kidding. Anyway, I liked it. I guess if I were to give it a grade, I'd give it an A-. Bub. Etienne?
As the MCU expands, I realize more and more that I just really like the X-Men. And there's interesting facets from other properties that I can enjoy. And this is certainly one. Guardians of the Galaxy is certainly one. I mean, for me, I love Rocket Raccoon. Like, that's not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna die on that hill, but like, I love Rocket Raccoon. But at the same point, I think this particular film both pushed forward the MCU and pushed forward cinematography in a certain way that even if you don't give a shit about Doctor Strange, even if you don't give a shit about the MCU, it's worth a watch. So I gave it 17.5 times X-Men The Last Stand out of 10.
Wait, everything times 0 is 0.
Yeah, it is. Hey, so you've watched it. You can't fucking unwatch it. And Futurama, if you want to sue us for that, you can come to my house.
You will never
It's
be
not a
clean
nice
again.
house. He's right.
So, they don't make water hot enough.
So good night, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch Doctor Strange. It's worth your money. But
I'm drunk and I
get
don't
drunk
give
first.
a shit.
Yeah.
Cheers.
On a Monday, I was arrested. On a Tuesday, they gave me a ball.